Once again, Dr. Len said at the end, do you have any questions? Going once, going twice, going thrice. I didn't see anybody raise their hand. As soon as we turned off the mic, they come up to me. Joe, what about this? Joe, what about that? Joe cornered me. So you all got questions. Were you raising your hands because you had a question? Yes.
What I don't understand is that if you want to be completely responsible and you're going through something difficult, I tend not to share what I'm going through because I'm just more private than the average person, I guess. But am I depriving you of clearing something if I don't share something that is challenging for me?
You want to come up here?
I'm sorry? I was cleaning. I'm sorry? The question?
Is it responsible or irresponsible not to share what's going on with you with another person? Am I depriving you the opportunity to clean with me?
Yeah, there are two responses to that. Number one, they know it anyway.
Okay.
You can't withhold anything from the universe. It knows it. Now, they may not be conscious of it, but they know it. You ever come into a situation where you go, ooh, there's somebody in the room, you go, they know it. So it's not like you're keeping it to yourself. They know it. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to say anything to anybody. What I would do is talk to God myself. That's all you need to do. I mean, why would you want to tell anybody? They're going to go, oh, really, you poor thing. Oh, my God. I know a guy you can go talk to, Yeah. So the idea is everybody knows everything anyway, believe it or not, below their consciousness. And two, better just to talk to God or to the infinite or whoever. Because divinity can erase it and replace it.
It's in your book, right?
Yeah.
There was also another question. Somebody came up and said, why love? Why say the word love? They said, why say the word love? Because I don't know the person, place, or thing, the divine, whatever it is. I don't know that. I can't love that. So they felt uncomfortable with the word love. And they wanted to know, can they say a different word like joy or life? And I thought I'd pass that to you too.
So in the end, here's what you want to do. You don't want to hang around with any guru. I'm going to make the point because your only guru is God. So I'm going to make that point. So when you get something, you want to check it out with divinity. He says, I feel more comfortable if I say joy. And if you get like, oh, that feels right, go do it. What I'm doing is I'm giving you the baseline, and then after I give that, you can check it out on your own. But the idea is you get to talk to the divinity who knows you, created you. I'm only here to say hello. You can do it. As opposed to depending on a guru, which most of you will do. You're guru prawns. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I'm saying to you, let God be your guru. Let the infinite who created you be that. And you can run everything by that being, because that being who created you knows exactly what's perfect and right for you. I'm only here going, it's over there. And whether you go over there, that's up to you. I'm not here to persuade. This is why when Joe talked to me about should he take the class, to be very honest, and it's going to sound harsh, but I could care less. I'm going to do it. Now, if he wants to come along and do it, he has to be inspired to do it. If I say, yeah, come and do it, because it won't work. There's a part of him who will say, what a bunch of bullshit stuff. There will always be that part of you that'll come back. Don't you have that in you? Somebody will say something, you go, really? But you don't do it you're more civilized. You do it under your armpit or something. So the idea is, ultimately, you want to talk to the divine in you. And that's the only thing I'm telling you. If you can erase and get the garbage out of the way, divinity, you can talk to divinity. Yeah. So gurus, they're nice to have around, but you don't want to hang around with them too long, because then they become a dependent kind of situation. Why not go to that which created you? I mean, why not? Why? I mean, you don't have that. You have that inborn ability, and the way to get by the stuff is just say, "I love you, Joe." Whatever works, get you by the walls that you have put up, called memories, and get you through that. See, the other thing I notice, and I'm going to get into trouble for this. I just have a set that the shit's going to hit the fan when I say this, but some of you have tried psychic routes. And what you don't realize is that when you go that way, it opens up doors that you can't see. So it's like a person going down, it's like a hotel room, a hotel hallway. All the doors are open, and you're trying to find which room is yours. You can't see the number on the door. You can't see any of that. Where am I? And that's what happens when you into things. If you're not careful, it'll open up certain dimensions for which you will get lost. You'll just get sucked away, and all of a sudden you're gone. So the idea is to stay home. You already need everything you have is already in you. Now, how to get by the blocks so that you can get on into that space which is called God in you, the temple. You are the sacred temple of creation. Yeah. So I'm going to take you to a process called Ha. Unless there's another question. Anybody? Yes. 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 Ma'am?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I thought you were looking that way.
I am. I'm cleaning that way. Yeah.
I think I missed the how to prevent jet lag and stay home.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to take you through now. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
That was my question.
See how divinity knew before, huh? Oh, sorry. Okay, I need a chair. I can hear all these rats running. I'm sorry about using all this papers, Suzanne. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through, and then I'm going to take you through. So first of all, I'm going to put up here the number 10. And this number 10 means completion. This is what this number stands for this class. I don't know about any other class. I'm only here. This is my responsibility is for this class. And then I'm going to show you the Ha, which is the process of infusing. The divine. So you're gonna allow the divinity when you do the Ha. You're going to pull it in, and it's not oxygen. So I'm going to put that down, not ox. So it isn't breathing physically. It's breathing mentally to get at spiritually to get at the memory. So I'm not doing this for your body. I'm doing it for your soul. Because that's where the problem is. And when your soul is cleared of these memories, your body will pop it. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about the four corners of the universe. So when you do this process, you're going to inhale. And what you're inhaling is the divine. And as you're inhaling, you're going to count to 10. And you can count it real fast. So as I'm breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 1, 2, however it works for you. So you're breathing in this, and the only purpose is to cancel memories, release entities, earthbound spirits, negative vibrations, space beings from your computer bank. We're loaded with that stuff. And then you're going to exhale. You're going to do a quick count of how it works for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you breathe in on a count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Then you're going to hold for a count of 10. And as you breathe in, you hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or however you do it. And then you exhale on the count of 10. And then you pause on the count of 10. Now you pause. Okay? So you inhale on 10, pause on 10, exhale on 10, pause on 10. And we're going to do 10 rounds of these. And one of the purposes of doing this breathing, it has many purposes. One of the purposes is to shut down all these psychic doors that are open that will drive your subconscious crazy. Yeah, when you get confused, you don't know what's up, what's down. So this is going to close a lot of those doors, okay? So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. So all I'm going to ask you to do is this. This represents the infinite in you. This is the divine. This is the one that makes it happen. This is your thumb. Without your thumb, hard to have. Then this is your pointing finger. This is you and the divinity as one. Then you're going to sit on your chair, and you're going to put your back up against the back of the chair. So you sit comfortably up against the back, because when you breathe, you're also going to include family, relatives, and ancestors, back to the beginning of creation. So you're not just breathing for yourself, but you're breathing for all of the generations that came before you, clearing whatever's back there, and whatever it is, I don't know. So this is the position you take. Thumb, 4 fingers sitting on your lap, both of your feet on the ground, because you're going to now include Mother Earth, because Mother Earth is part of your family. And then you're just simply going to breathe. As you breathe in, you count to 10. However, some of you will do it fast, some of you do it slow. So you breathe in as you count to 10, hold for 10, exhale for 10, hold for 10. That's 1 round. I'm going to ask you to do 10 rounds. And when you are done, if you would open your eyes, okay? Any questions about the breathing? It will clear you like nobody's business, you know? So let's say you're traveling, as you're going to go someplace, so each hour of travel, as you breathe as 10 rounds, you'll be fine. Let's say you have a flight of 4 hours. You breathe the 10, you're sitting in the terminal waiting to get on there. You do your 10 rounds or 20, or like I do, I just keep doing it. Then you know you're going to be in the air 4 or 5 hours. You do 10 rounds for each hour you're on the airplane, and you'll be fine. It's as though you never left wherever you went, or you never left wherever you're going to. Yeah. Okay. Any questions about the breathing? Yes, sir.
The final part where you pause.
Yes.
What is it? You're not holding your breath when you pause.
No. What you're doing is you want to make sure your whole body won't go into trauma. So that you breathe and you're holding to give that energy time to shift. And then you're letting go and you're holding, you're giving the energy a time to, if you breathe in and out and in and out, your body will go into trauma. It'll shake. Now, one of these things that it works on problems of Alzheimer's. So if you're breathing, you're shutting down doors that otherwise your mind would wander into and be gone. And be gone. So all these doors are open. However, who opened them, who knows? But if the mind is moving anywhere and it sees this door, if it moves through that door, and that's not where it's supposed to be, you're going to be in trouble. It's just going to be gone. So this breathing helps to shut down these doors, however they open, and close them down. Yes, Ryan?
I read about this years ago in some book I don't even remember as a kid, and I've used this so many times in my life where I've been totally drained and just laid on the bed and did this exercise and felt this clearing. It's an amazing technique that I've used privately for years.
Good. So I want to just pause to see if you have any questions. Yes?
Could you explain a little bit further of what you were saying there about earthbound entities and
Yeah. We're loaded. Yeah, so our subconscious has these connections to people who are earthbound. Give you an example. If anybody in your family died and they died with a memory, they get earthbound. So here's the three selves. This is you. So this is divine creator or the infinite. This is the superconscious. This is the conscious. This is subconscious. If in fact something occurs and this part of you leaves and you perish, then you have this earthbound spirit moving around in the universe. Doesn't know where to go. I used to do some work in a hospital at Hawaii State Hospital in Honolulu, and the director would ask me to come occasionally because they would be losing more and more people in the ER room. And so you go, and I do my cleaning before I go, but if I didn't do it, I actually try to look, okay, I'm not going to do my cleaning. So I show up, I walk into the room, the ER room, and from here down I can't feel my body. And you look, you see all this earthbound spirits on the ceiling crying. I mean, as the room fills, more people will die. So now those kind of earthbound spirits we're responsible for and we're stuck with. So when you do this breathing, this allows, because you're doing it as the breathing, you erase this memory, this soul can go back into the light. That's how incredible this cleaning can be. So you don't have to go, if somebody says, well, there's a spook in our house, you don't have to go there. Just find out the person's name, know the address, and know that you're the problem. And you do this breathing or you do the cleaning, the earthbound spirits will go. They want to go. Yes. but they're loaded, particularly in hospitals. My brother was once a fireman, and on a particular corner, on a particular intersection in Honolulu, there were always people dying. And so he asked me to look. When I looked, you could see people were already dead there. So it was just more and more stuff, more and more people dying because it was already dead. So now you do the cleaning. I did my cleaning, asked for forgiveness, I love you, whatever. Well, now nobody has an accident there.
So you have to prepare, train yourself to look?
No, I wouldn't look. If they gave me enough information, the name, the place, I just do my cleaning without looking. I'll let the divinity look. But we're connected to all these things, and we don't even know that. I had a case in Pennsylvania where there was a particular bed in the hospital, and no matter who they put on that bed, whether the person only had a cold, that person would die. Yeah.
It's like this church.
Yeah, you got it. And so as she talked to me, I did my cleaning, that nobody dies on that bed. Now, I didn't do it. I was the culprit. So I'm saying to the bed, I'm sorry for whatever's going on in me that bed is doing that. It's not like I came to save him. I don't do any healing. That divinity does that. I'm just saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Yeah.
Should we do the breathing other than jet lag on a more frequent basis?
Oh yeah. It will undo depression. It will undo it. If you're willing to do this breathing, it will undo depression.
And whomever.
Well, I don't care. I'm more interested in you.
Right now, I don't have depression.
No, I'm not saying you have depression, but I'm saying if you did it, it will have whatever connections you have, whatever, it will undo it.
Okay.
So.
Whatever you're saying.
Oh yeah. So you're asking the divinity to do it, not you. Only divinity can make the correction. Yes.
When you're doing the work, if somebody's like they've asked you to come and you're cleaning on that particular thing, do you hold it in your mind, or do you just think of it once and then you?
No. Usually if somebody like Joe or somebody call, I would like to have the name, and if it's a particular problem in any place, I would ask for the address. But it may have nothing to do with that. But I'm talking to them to give them at least that they have something they can do, as opposed to say, let me look and I'll do it. They go, huh? So you have to involve people. But usually when you do the cleaning, it has nothing to do with what the person is saying. Can I say that over and over again? If you're listening to a person that says A, B, C, D, that's not the problem. It's someplace over here. So it's like one day somebody came to see me and they said to me, Dr. Ulan, I was sharing it with somebody. I have an arch problem. And what can I do with that? How can I clean that? I said, you don't want to clean that. You want to clean what's in your back shoulder. That back shoulder is causing that. So we have no idea what's going on. So better just to do the cleaning and let divinity go and say, oh, there it is, and let divinity do the cleaning. But all you have to do is breathe. Helps babies. If babies are fussy, it helps them settle down really quick. I mean, you cannot believe what it'll do. It helps buildings, like if a hospital is having, if you do go find a place, do your breathing, it'll help everybody. Hospital will settle down. Yeah. Anything about the 10 breath? Yes?
Well, you seem to have extra abilities, but this works whether you do or not?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because I trust, our national motto, trust in God. I'm willing to trust because I don't know what's going on.
Well, you know it more than I do, apparently.
Only if you say so. Like Shakespeare said, if you think so, it's so. But it doesn't have to be so because you have the same capacity as I do. The only thing that's different from you and I is I've been doing it for 25 years.
So you didn't start off with these abilities to communicate like with dreams and
we could go into that, but in the end, you're still responsible.
Right.
I mean, I could say when I was a young kid, I could see these things, but it doesn't do any good because I didn't know what to do with them.
But it doesn't, okay, so our ability as far as doing this work would be just as effective.
Oh, of course. Oh, why wouldn't it be as effective for you as for me?
Well, because I can't hear the chair talk.
Lucky for you. Oh, lucky for you. Listen, you don't want to hear it. I mean, lucky for you. You know, people who want to hear this stuff, the stuff that would come up, it would drive them crazy. You don't want to hear this stuff. Let the divinity hear it. Just say, I love you, joy, do whatever, but don't be fussing around with the psychic self can be dangerous. You can get lost in it. I mean, really lost. Yeah. Anybody else about the breathing? Yes.
I just wanted to be clear with me, when you're breathing, are you also doing the words, or are you just breathing?
The breathing is doing the words. So for each breath you're taking, it's saying, I love you. So the ha process is a process of I love you. So each breath you take, you're breathing, you're saying, I love you. Breathing out, you're saying, I love you. Pausing, you're saying, I love you. Divinity has worked it all in there.
So I don't have to say that.
Oh, no.
It's saying it for through the actions of the breathing.
Yeah, but I do it.
But you do it.
Yeah, so when
Why not double up?
Absolutely. Okay. There you go. Hey, she's getting it. Okay. All the way from Canada, they can get it. We're all going to get it. Yeah. Really. So when I breathe, I'm always paying attention to watching, to listen. Is there anything else I can put in there? You know, like I love you, or thank you, or sometimes I hear the word bluebell. I'm going to talk to you about that. So, yeah. Anybody else about the breathing? Yes.
So as I'm learning this new way and this method, is there any harm in teaching this to also my clients? From your point of view?
One more time, run it by me. One more time.
So, is there any harm in passing on this teaching to clients?
Why would you want to do that? If you're the problem. I'm sorry?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Now, having said that, let's say you do your cleaning and you're inspired to do it, go do it. But don't do it if you think they need it. Boy, it's going to come back and slam you.
Coming from a source of inspiration.
Yeah. Therapists get burned out. I know, I was reading some statistics. By the time a school teacher's third year, they're gone. And we got kids with them, you know? Well, we were with them. But they can't help it. You show it up. Yeah. Just with the breathing, anything with the breathing. Yes, Joseph.
It seems to me, and I may have my memory wrong, when you first taught it to me, we interlocked our fingers.
Yeah.
And you're teaching it this time with our fingers now.
I'm just teaching the way divinity is telling me, Joseph.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're right. So different people will get different process of how to do the breathing. Since you are different from every other group that I've taught, we have to ask, what's right for you? And so that's what's coming. Nobody that we've ever participated in ever went to 10 rounds. You're the first one to do it. It represents completion. No, I'm going to sound catty, but you need all the help you can get. I mean, really, you need all the help you can get. You cannot believe, what you folks need. So if you take good care of yourself, you'll be fine. If you're out to healing anybody else, you're going to get smashed. Yeah. You got to be clear about that. If you clear yourself, if you have clients, anybody, you'll be fine. They'll be fine. What you got to do, though, if you're going to charge them 200, whatever a month, you got to look like you're doing something. You know, you can't just going to go, okay, I got it, thank you, pay me. You got to look like you're doing something. Yeah. So when I was working in the Hawaii State Hospital, I had to show up. I could do this all at home. But they're going to say, what? You got to come so we can pay you. You got to show up bodily. But you All you have to do is take good care of yourself, and whoever you're working with will be fine. Really. But if you're here to heal other people, you're going to be in for a long haul. Yeah. Particularly if you reach my age, almost 70, it'll just take you out. Heart problems, high blood pressure, because you're fussing around with trying to manipulate people as opposed to just working on yourself. Okay? Anything about the 10 rounds? Yes.
This is a question about, not about the breathing, but about the spirits. And can someone, sometimes I get a client and they've been grieving, really heavy grieving people for maybe 10, 15, maybe years. Can their grieving keep spirits or family?
Oh, yeah. I had a case of a woman who came in to see me when I was seeing people. I stopped doing that. Better do it by internet. I can catch my breath. You know? But came in to see me, and I saw this soul come in with her, and I heard this soul say to me, "Tell my mama to let me go." And so I was just talking to the mother, and I said, "Where have you been?" Well, the mother said, "I've been to the grave to put some flowers on my daughter's grave." And then she said, "I've been doing it for 16 years, you know?" Yeah. Now, having said that, Mama can't help it. I mean, the grieving, people grieve not because they want to grieve, they're stuck in the grieving and they can't help it. But you and I can undo it. And they only come to say to you, "Hello, this is your chance," as opposed to, "Oh, you poor thing." Doesn't work. Anything with the 10 the breathing. Okay, any other questions? Is this the breathing?
Breathing.
Okay,
You mentioned something about ancestors.
yes,
Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Sure.
And the breathing.
sure. So what happens is that you've come from someplace, and so, well, sorry about that. So here you, face up, you have a memory, but behind you are zillions of other generations of identities, going back to the beginning of creation, including coming out as rats, grass, I mean other life forms, other dimensions, other galaxies, other dimensions. This is you. This is you. So when I look at you face up, I know I'm not just seeing you, I'm seeing all of creation. So to mess around with you by saying, "Here's your problem," as opposed to looking at myself and doing the problem solving here, I'm taking on all of this. And a lot of these things can be earthbound. They're ghosts, they're spirits, they're entities, they're space beings. You handle with space beings, you'll get burned. So the idea is, keep it simple.
So these are the ancestral memories.
Absolutely. Not only the ancestral memories, but the ancestral people. This is where Canada comes in. Now, I'm going to say something again that might get me into trouble, but if we had done this correctly, then the countries, I've said that to my friend here, I said the countries would have worked from the North Pole all the way down to Panama, where all of the Americas, we would have been one people, we would have had easier time than we had now. Somewhere along the line, we goofed, and now we're having to come back and correct it. And we're finding out that artificial barriers don't work. They don't work. This idea of artificial barrier that he's talking about, race, doesn't work. But to be zero, to be pure in heart, my God, that works. So when you deal with the memories, you think it looks simple enough, but it's a tremendous cosmic kind of movement when you say "I love you." It's huge, but we can't see that. The intellect does not have the ability to see this tumultuous thing taking place. Doesn't have that ability to do that. Yes.
Could you write "I love you" and put it somewhere in different places?
You could do that. What I would do is I wait to see if I'm inspired to do that. You want to come from inspiration, yes. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to go through another process called, is there any comment, Joe, you want to make?
No, I want to know what the next process is.
Oh, okay. So I have a blue bottle here. So I want to thank Suzanne and Bruce. So I'm going to show you how to make a special kind of water that will release memories, earthbound spirits, entities, space beings. So here's the blue soul. Here's blue water. So here's how this works. What you need, this is a cleaning process. So what you need is a blue bottle. It can be any kind of bottle. It has to be glass. Of course, it has to be blue. Then you fill it up with tap water. And this is in Los Angeles. Does it have to be tap water? Can it be filtered water? Tap water. Are you sure? And I say to them, do what you want, but I hear tap water. You may hear it differently, so be my guest. But I'm going to instruct this as what I heard. So you put tap water in there. Then you need a solar source. It could be the sun. But let's say, so the sun comes down and hits that, and hits in the bottom. Now what it'll do, it'll take all the toxins out, any memories that is not correct for you, and it'll infuse it with whatever rainbow colors that's perfect for you. It'll make this exchange. So down comes the source. It could be the sun, or it could be an incandescent light bulb, not fluorescent. So there's been a move to put fluorescent lamps, too bad for us, because they burn. If you go to classrooms in which the fluorescent lamp leads, you have a lot of problems, you see. So now you can have this as a source, energy source, or the sunlight. What it needs is at least an hour. There you go, okay. I fill it up with tap water. I leave it out in the sun or under an incandescent lamp. And now all I do is I'm going to drink the stuff. And it's another form that says, I love you. Did you drink out of this water?
I did.
Good, I'll drink it too. So now I'm drinking it. As I drink it, it'll begin to work on erasing anything in you, entities, earthbound, space vibration, anything like that.
Say that again, please.
It'll do the cleaning as the same thing as I love you. But now what this will do for you, just because most of us run around dehydrated, it will do it like this. If you have any respiratory problems, if you drink at least a gallon of this, it'll knock it out. If you have any back problems, you have any joint problems, you have any muscle problems, it'll knock it out. Just memories. But now you're hydrating yourself. Now remember now, it's going into the subconscious before it goes into the cell. It's changing you at the subconscious level. So if you drink this stuff, a lot of your so-called health problems will go. Guaranteed. If you have, I had a mother who had really was depressed after giving birth to a baby. I don't know why. So as I was working on that, looking at myself, doing my cleaning, her divinity said the water would work for her. In like a week or so, it went. Just went. Now, what happened? I have no idea. I'm not privy to that kind of information. All I know is that it worked. Yeah? Yes, Bruce?
I'm extrapolating from the information you said earlier about if you try to heal someone else, you're in trouble.
Yes.
Is the same principle applied to the water?
Yes.
Don't make it for someone else?
Yes. But if you make it for yourself, it'll take care of the other person. Whatever comes off of you will come off the other person. Now, let's say you have a party and you serve it anyway. I mean, you know, that's what you really want to make sure you got the water out, because they're coming not to see you, they're coming to be cleaned up. Oh, it would be nice to think they came to see us, Bruce, but they're coming. Someone in the universe is saying, they know something we don't know. They're going to show up. Yeah. So again, blue bottle, tap water, 1 hour, incandescent lamp, or a direct solar, and over here, no metal cap. So you either want to put a cork on there, cellophane, something, but no metal cap. Ask me why.
Why?
I don't know.
Why the color blue? You don't know?
I don't know. So now, let's say I'm about to go someplace and I can't take a bottle of water. So what I do is I take something out and I put a drop in there, and that drop will solarize anything I'm drinking. So I make a cup of coffee, put a drop in there, it'll solarize the coffee, so whatever I drink will be fine. So you can put drops of it. So if you take a bath, a drop into your bath water, you're going to rinse the bath. All you need is what do they say? A little drop will do you. Or is that drill kid? Must be drill. A little dab will do you. Yeah. So this is the blue solar. Any questions about the blue solar water? I want to stay on the blue solar water. Yes.
You said something about a gallon?
Yep. I would drink at least a gallon.
What time?
Now you're being. You should check that out with yourself. But the idea is most of us have the kind of problems we have physically is because we're dehydrated. Dehydrated to the max. Even to the point where our body will tell us we have enough water and it isn't. So if you're looking to you're not sick, you're thirsty. So I got this, if any of you are interested in looking at this. But again, this is at the physical level. If we take it care at the basic level, you'll be fine. But you need at least a gallon. I don't want to tell you how, because then you need to determine that yourself. But the idea is the more you have in it, the cleaning is going on. It's like the more water you put in this blue water, it's just a surging. The cleaning is going through. Molecular changes, the whole kit and caboodle. Can you imagine? Just drinking this stuff. I don't even have to know anything. Just drink. What's happening? I don't care. Just make it happen. You know? I mean, you don't need, it's going to happen. So you're fussing around with how come, where, it ain't going to work for you. Just do it. Yeah. So, any questions about the blue solar water? Yes, ma'am.
When you have the depressed mother, you drink.
What?
When you have a mother that's depressed.
You drink.
You're different.
That's right. Now, as you drink, if you get inspired to give it to her, but it's got to come from the divine. If you overstep that bound by doing something without getting permission, it's hell to pay. Yes?
I'm curious, is there a distinction between the blue water and the M&M diet that Joe was talking about?
I'm just sticking to the blue water so far, and then we can come back to that. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying you can share it with anyone that naturally comes into your environment. So does that mean you can share it with your children, your animals, your plants?
Yeah, but you're not saying to them, I'm going to do this. Boy, you ought to know this is something that's going to really help you. You're doing it because it's part of your routine. So but boy, they're going to show up. And sometimes you don't want them to show up. They're going to come by the droves. Yeah, but maybe you will. I don't know.
So where do we get a blue yellow bottle?
Now listen, did you hear what she said? Hello, what did she say? And what do? You clean. Remember that old baseball, that movie? I build a baseball field and? So just get around to cleaning. Well, you guys are looking, you're saying, listen, get to zero and it'll all show up. That's what you want. You want to be at zero because everything you need will show up. So a lady said to me one day, she took the class, she said, I don't know where to get those things. So she's talking, I'm cleaning because I'm taking that opportunity. So she comes to class on Sunday and she said, my God, I don't know why, but I drove by a recycling plant and there were tons of blue bottles. I said, good for you, good for you. So, let it happen.
I just want to point out, one time I asked him about the blue bottles, and I said, where do you get blue bottles, meaning where does he get them? And he said, there's a lot of wine bottles and vodka bottles that are blue. And I said, do you empty them? And he did what he did right there, he just smiled.
Not if it's Polish vodka.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have some blue wine bottles
Yes.
left over, but they had corks in them, and I don't have any screw tops. So,
Ma'am, you'll be very resourceful. You'll get a rubber band, a piece of cloth, something.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
Just a point of clarification.
Oh, a point of clarification. Okay. Hey, remember. Thank you very much.
We're taking the toxins out. Now, what are we putting in again?
No, we're not taking the toxin. Divinity is taking the toxin. Let's get it clear now.
All right, get it clear.
Okay, that's why we're cleaning, getting it clear. So Divinity takes the toxins out and puts in whatever is right for you.
Okay.
It could be color, it could be things we're not even aware of.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm sorry, there's a part of you is asking me another question, even when you're not conscious of it, see? So it's asking me, what if somebody else shows up in my house? What do I do with that water? Yes?
Is this your strategy or is this one that you learned?
What strategy? Comes out of zero.
So it came from zero
Yeah.
to inspiration.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, if I give you wrong information, I'm going to be damned. No, I'm not through yet with him. So if you give information that doesn't come from what you get as inspiration, but you give it because they need it, it's going to be hell for you. This is why the idea, hopefully, is to keep the cleaning going, because then you'll get your own inspiration as to what to do. My job is to say, hey, this is the way it worked, and now at some point, I don't want to even see you, because you can do it on your own. That's what we want. We want you to be able to do this on your own. And what Divinity says, this is the beginning for everybody. This will get everybody on the road, because it's only about cleaning, and then they're going to get their own inspiration.
So it helps you to get into a mindset.
Oh, yeah.
To be open enough
To get you to zero, not a mindset, to get you to zero, so that you know when you're yourself, you will get your own information, which is what we want. We want you to get your own information. You had a question?
I do.
Yes.
I'm hearing intellect coming from the questions. Is that the barrier that we are constantly struggling with, is to leave the intellect outside and just allow this to come in and believe that, and actually not even believe, it's this is what we're following. Don't question it, don't try and figure out what the path is or why it works, why it doesn't work, who it should work with. What you're saying, as I understand it, is just do it, and whatever comes into you, whether it's a thought or an inspiration, that's the path to follow.
Yeah. Now, having said that, it's never going to happen. The intellect will always be ferocious.
Right. It's
Always.
a struggle with us because we are intellect.
Well, absolutely. Well, it's a struggle because the intellect can't help it. Once something plays, it pushes up against it. It's called resistance. Something comes up, immediately you respond, but you can't help it. So you have great sages who say, like our friend Jesus said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. So when you're doing anything, you have to know it's going to come up. But you can't help it, but you can catch yourself. You go, oh, I can work on that. But most people won't do it because they can't. Once they get caught in, it's like Shakespeare said, once you get pulled down, hell's going to break loose. Hell's going to break loose. This is in the play King Lear. I mean, hell's going to, it's just going to grab you and shake you to no, I mean, you're just going to shake you up. So the idea is to do your cleaning beforehand. So before I show up, I'm going to do as much as I can, but I won't get away scot-free. There'll still be things that'll come up that I need to work on. Right? It's like Joe was saying, I mean, the intellect can get it, but actually living it is a tough thing to do. Anybody else? Yes?
Okay, so the question on the cleaning was, what is it in me that's causing me to respond to this person or bring this person into
Yep.
my life?
Yeah.
So we're going to have an event or a visitor or something that's in the future.
Yeah.
But nothing has triggered in yet.
Yeah.
But we're cleaning that future
Oh,
event.
yeah.
So what's the question
Yes.
that's different than what is it in me that's causing this?
Yeah. But what I'm doing is before Joe in November, right? November. So now November starts, and I already know that if I'm coming, I'm not coming for other than to clean up. But I want to do the cleaning first because I want to prevent. I want to prevent as much doo-doo from zipping up. I want to get at it before it comes up from the subconscious, which is 1,000,000 for each one that's above. So I'm going to do this in advance. And even after I leave, I'm still going to do it for weeks and weeks and months after I leave.
So are you asking the divine, I am going to make this event, so what I'd like to do is clean any shared memories that I have with that environment, with those people, with the people that will be showing up before the event?
Yeah. So let me give you an example. The reason he had this, what I'm going to call inspiration, like the mix coming, and it will make no sense to the intellect, but this land was once under glaciers. So this particular land has a memory of that. And it's much related to this building wanted to be on solid foundation because this thing is always moving. It has a memory of moving. Now he has an inspiration. They're going to lay down concrete. That concrete is going to move. It's going to crack unless it's done correctly. So I'm cleaning that. Because when I look, I clean with I can see the glaciers come up. I can see all kinds of stuff come up. Now, if I didn't look, I wouldn't be able to see that. If I didn't clean, all hell would break loose for me. What I'm trying to do is pay down my debt, unless I'm going to get killed again, and you'll kill me. And you know, I'm not very good at being killed, you know. So I have to pay down my mortgage. So when I come as clean as I can, and you will get whatever it is that you need. If I don't come clean, you won't get it.
Okay. One other possible example that might help me. Let's say Joe knows he's going to release the book in the summer. And he knows as a result of that, different people are going to have different things triggered. He wants to prevent. But he's not like you, and he may not be able to sense that the land's on a glacier.
Hey, he can.
Well, okay.
He
ahead of time what people's reactions are going to be.
He knows it at this level. He doesn't know it at the level of the consciousness, but already it's in him. It's in me. It's in you. And the divinity knows, so I'm just going to appeal constantly, so divinity will get at that information. So when things go out, there's not so much of this tsunami effect. It may be a little earthquake, but not a tsunami.
Okay. So
I can prevent that.
Okay,
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And that's what happens in relationships. They have tsunami effect because you didn't clean up your stuff. And you keep thinking it's the other person. And it has nothing to do with the other person, nothing to do with you. It's a memory. That's what's going to kick. Anything else before I go to the next cleaning tool? Okay. This is called a bluebell. This is what we call elegance. This is the state flower of Texas. So this is something that is called bluebell. So it's a cleaning process to help bring elegance into your being. Instead of being rapturous and bitchy and moany and groany, it will help you be more elegant. Yes, Bruce?
Dr. Lynn, some of us in Texas call that a blue bonnet.
That would be perfect. And you know that the Mexicans call it something else, right? What do the Mexicans call it? You ought to know because, yeah. So I'm going to pass this around and you can get introduced to it, blue bonnet. But that's another cleaning process. So any questions about the blue bonnet? So let's say I'm about to go anybody, and instead of saying I love you, I get this, I can use a blue bonnet. So I just say blue bonnet. That's it. And it begins this undoing, this kind of possible earthquake up at Jim's area. Jim, have you guys had any kind of rumbles up there, maybe over the last 5 years?
Not that I'm aware of.
You should check, Jim. Yeah. So this blue bonnet helps with the lessening of the abuse to Mother Earth. It brings more elegance and allows us to really appreciate Mother Earth more. Blue bonnet. If you go up on the internet, there are all kinds of names for it. So any questions about the elegance of the blue bonnet?
Where did it come from? Because I don't remember you talking about this before. So did you sit in meditation or something and inspiration said, "Tell me about blue bonnet"?
Yeah, it came out of the void. It came out of zero. You know, there was a woman in Los Angeles. I should say man, but she was really a woman. So a woman in Los Angeles said, why can't we just say I love you? Why do we have to have all these different processes? So I said, if you were to take me and place me in front of your clothes closet and you open it up, how many pieces of clothing would I see? And she was embarrassed. She said, you see a whole mess of them. I said, well, why is that? She said, because on certain days I like this. And so it's the same thing with the part of you that says, hey, I prefer the blue bonnet today. I prefer this tomorrow, whatever. So now you have a choice. You know? Any questions about that? If the room is warm, we can open the door in the back. Ah, okay. We don't want anybody freezing, but okay. Any questions about the bluebell or the blue bonnet?
Are you suggesting that we plant them, or?
That's not what I heard.
Okay.
But you may hear that.
I guess that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, that's why we brought the plant up here, see? We brought a plant in here so they could be represented. Yeah. So if you get inspiration to grow them, be my guest. Any questions about the breathing? Any questions about the water? Yes, Bruce.
I have a question about the blue bonnet.
Yes.
You said that's not what you heard, but I don't think I heard what you said.
No, what she's talking about is can she grow it?
No, I didn't hear what you said though.
Oh.
About the blue bonnet.
You mean to that question?
To us.
Oh. Well, all I know is that what I heard when it came through was it represents elegance.
Did you also hear something about bluebell?
I heard bluebell.
It's an ice cream.
Yeah. So now, Bruce, when you say that, that is also a cleaning tool, that ice cream. Sweet. That's what I'm... So this is what I'm hearing. So what happened is this bouncing. This is how the inspiration comes up. But that ice cream is a cleaning process. It's crazy. There's no logic. It doesn't go like that. It just goes boom, 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 like a grasshopper. Yeah. Any questions about the ice cream? Okay. Can we take another break? Yeah, please.
Sure.